Hi, I'm Ken Howard. As the national spokesperson and an executive board member of the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, I'm proud to introduce this short video showing some of the wonderful work the Onyx and Breezy Foundation has done this year.
One of the main objectives of the Onyx and Breezy Foundation is to sponsor spay and neuter programs. No animal should be born to die. Friends of Randolph is one organization we help on an ongoing monthly basis.
Right now, we are in the middle of kitten season, and it's like every hour somebody is bringing us kittens. We're also helping to spay their adult cats so they won't continue to bring us kittens. And some of them don't want their adult cats anymore, so we take them. So every animal that has to be spayed, neutered, combo tested, that's about $150 with a discount, assuming it's a healthy cat. We never put an animal down. I mean, sometimes we could have a cat that costs $1,000, but we'll do it. We take care of every animal. We vet every animal. We get them the best vet care that we can. We make sure they have a good quality of life, and we find them a good home. We work really hard. Onyx and Breezy Foundation makes this possible. When people want to adopt, they want a healthy animal. They want an animal that has been vetted. Some people have pets at home, so they don't want to bring home a cat with a disease or a dog with a disease. So we work hard to do that. The Friends of Randolph Animal Pound were all volunteers, so 100% of the funds goes right to the animals. The Onyx and Breezy Foundation helps us to vet our animals and to spay neuter. Last year, they helped us spay 270 cats and 56 dogs. In addition, many of these animals needed extensive vet care. They were malnourished, they were neglected. This is Princess. She's about 2 or 3 years old, and the people didn't know how to take care of a dog. They had her tied, unspayed, to one side of the garage, so it was kind of horrible, but they were smart enough to bring her here and surrender her to us. So we've had Princess all vetted, spayed, neutered. Sometimes people aren't bad, they're just uneducated and they don't know, and they need help. And that's what we try to do.
The Lee County Animal Shelter in Florida gives pet food to individuals who cannot afford to feed their animals. Without this help, they would be forced to surrender their beloved pets. This is how the Onyx and Breezy Foundation has helped.
Lee County Domestic Animal Services would like to thank the Onyx and Breezy Foundation for coming to our rescue when we desperately needed food for our community pet pantry. They supplied us with an entire month's worth of cat food. Without the generous support from donors like the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, over 1,000 pets in our community would be in jeopardy. But because of their support, pet owners in financial need are able to keep their pets rather than surrender them to shelters simply because they cannot afford to feed them. The Onyx and Breezy Foundation came through for us again when our veterinary clinic needed towels. Here at Lee County Domestic Animal Services, we often have 50 or more animals on our daily surgery schedule, so that means we go through a lot of towels. The Onyx and Breezy Foundation purchased 100 towels for our animals' post-surgery care and comfort.
Once again, the Onyx and Breezy Foundation has reached out and helped scores of animals whose owners could not afford their care and treatment. Here is a very touching example of an emergency situation that needed immediate response.
Well, this is Dylan. He's half English setter, half Labrador. He was in a shelter almost his whole life when we had found him. He had had almost no human contact. He had never lived in a house. He was having trouble breathing, and we kept taking him to our vet, and they kept prescribing all sorts of different things for asthma, for bronchitis, for whatever, but nothing seemed to be working. So eventually they took some x-rays, found he had a paralyzed larynx, and it was collapsing in, and that was causing him to really be unable to breathe.
Laryngeal paralysis is a neurologic disorder in which the nerve supply to the larynx becomes impaired. It causes severe respiratory distress, and without treatment, it is frequently a fatal disorder.
He's just been very, very attached to her. When she was diagnosed with cancer a year ago, it's amazing how he sensed that she needed him now more than ever.
The vet told us the only choice you have is an operation, otherwise he'll suffocate.
We found out what the cost was, and both my husband and I had lost our jobs just prior to Jen being diagnosed with cancer. So money was a big, big issue.
We just did not have the money required to save Dylan, and if we couldn't come up with the money, then our only choice was to put him down, and I just couldn't give up on him like that. It was horrible, and even though at his worst, he was still worrying about me. And so I was just like, he just needs to live. He needs a better quality of life.
We were thinking, how are we going to do this? How are we going to pay for Dylan's operation? And reached a point where we were sitting in the parking lot outside the veterinarian's office in tears because he had been there through this with her the whole time. And he would jump on her bed, wrap his legs around her, and hold on to her like, "It's okay, Jen, I'm here for you." And then here we are sitting in the parking lot, and we couldn't be there for him. It was, the weight of the world was on our shoulders, and we were sitting there in tears. And how is this going to work?
With Dylan Brune and his family, I felt that that case was a special case that needed to be brought to the Onyx and Breezy Foundation because of the dog being so loyal to the young woman who was suffering from cancer, and it seemed absolutely necessary that she get the financial support needed.
The call for the Onyx and Breezy Foundation came in saying that they would cover the cost, and so it was just the greatest feeling. The weight of the world then lifted up off her shoulders.
The Onyx and Breezy Foundation stepped in and provided the financial resources to make this happen. We did the surgery, the patient did well. I saw Dylan recently for a 2-month follow-up, and the dog is doing very well.
Often the cases that we are going to the Onyx and Breezy Foundation with are life and death and need immediate attention. They're critical situations, and we are always able to get in contact with the Onyx and Breezy Foundation.
I think it's great that Onyx and Breezy is available for these people on a very quick turnaround time. Once these patients come in, usually within less than a day, we have a response from the foundation knowing that we can help these animals.
An organization like the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, who's able to lend financial support to people who are in need during critical times, I think does a remarkable job, and not only helping those people, but society in general.
It means so much to me to see any patient that we've helped, but to see Dylan and his family together, just the way that Dylan and Jen are able to interact and how they wouldn't have been able to have that connection had the Onyx and Breezy not come through, and to think about how that would have affected the outcome of her cancer, her not having that support that she's so dependent on. It's just, again, makes me very proud to be a part of this organization.
I think it's amazing. Anybody who's owned a pet knows how tough it is when they go, especially if there was a small chance, just one factor. You know, there are plenty of dogs and cats and other animals that are put down just because their owners can't afford this, and this gives the animals a fighting chance. It gives the owners, you know, a peace of mind as well, and I think that's amazing. You know, it's just so amazing that people out there are willing to do this for people and animals, people and their pets, because animals, they're a member of the family.
As a veterinarian and a board member since the foundation's inception, I feel enriched seeing so many condemned animals get a second chance at life. Your generous donations have made this all possible.
I'd like to thank the Onyx and Breezy Foundation for stepping in and allowing us to save the lives of so many animals who otherwise would have been euthanized. I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so much.
Well, there aren't words enough to thank the Onyx and Breezy Foundation for what they've done. There's just no adequate way to thank them enough, so we're just going to have to settle for thank you for what you've done for us and what you continue to do.
If we didn't have their funding, we couldn't do what we do. They are the greatest. On behalf of all the volunteers, on behalf of all the animals, we really love you. Thank you, Onyx and Breezy Foundation.
Thank you, Onyx and Breezy, for allowing us to provide optimal care for patients that might otherwise be euthanized based solely on financial responsibility. Thank you for your help.
I hope this video touched your hearts in showing you how your dollars have helped to save or enrich the lives of these unfortunate animals who would have had nowhere else to turn for help. Now, these are only some examples of the many thousands of animals who have benefited from your generous donations. But we can only continue to help our four-legged friends if you open your hearts and continue to give. So, thank you, and remember the joy they bring.